Hey guys, this is TechMaster2133 here again today, and I have another free computer that was given to me. This thing has been pretty heavily used. I got some dog action in the background. It's got missing front bezel here. One second, let me switch on the light. Alright. It's missing one of the covers in the front bezel here. It's got a multimedia card reader, memory stick pro reader, all that kind of stuff. USB 2.0 port that I think works on the front here, two of them right here as well. This thing is old. It was given to me because the guy that used it, this was his daughter's computer, and she was going to college for graphic design, and this thing could not keep up with her needs. They had recently had somebody try to install Windows 7 on it. It was designed for Windows XP. I don't know if I mentioned it, but it's an AMD Sempron 2 GHz single core processor. It's got a multi-burner DVD-ROM drive in here, and then the second one down is just a regular compact disc writable DVD-ROM drive. But this thing is pretty much all original on the inside. They tried to install Windows 7 on it, but the graphics card was not supported, and it was just, one second, really slow, and I can tell they haven't taken this off much. There we go. I have done a bit of cleaning on the inside. The motherboard was coated in dirt. It was nasty. It's got two 40 gig hard drives. I believe either one or both are by Seagate. It's got an NVIDIA GeForce MX or GT440, I think 128 megabyte video card. I haven't done much looking into that. I did test the system. It does power on. I did have to replace the RAM. It had 1 gig of RAM, but one 512 meg chip was bad, so I replaced them both. It didn't help that the RAM slots were covered in dirt. I had to vacuum out this whole system. It's got a Delta Electronics 250 watt power supply that I have cleaned, opened up, checked the caps. As you can see, I cleaned out the inside, cleaned up the fans, made sure there's no dirt in it whatsoever, because I didn't trust this thing at all. Yeah, it did come with a wireless card in it, but they took it out and I'm using it in another system. In the back it's got two PS2 ports, serial port, VGA printer, 4 USB 2.0, and the audio jacks. So there's really not too much to this thing. I think I might just sell it for 10-20 bucks or something like that, throw it up on eBay or Craigslist, see what I can get for it, or I might keep it around and use it as a music / movie storing machine. You never know, I might put my NVIDIA 6200 512 meg graphics card in there and see if I have any compatible CPUs laying around. I have a couple AMD chips. I'm not quite sure what socket type this is, but yeah. The other thing I did do is the botched installation of non-genuine Windows 7 that was on this thing that they paid some guy 30 bucks to do. They got ripped off. I downgraded to Vista. I got Windows Vista Home Premium on here just because I had a legitimate copy with a legitimate key, and I know Windows Vista on 1 gig of RAM, not the best idea, but it does run. So I guess let's do a power up of it, shall we? I do need to put a case fan in here because using this power supply to suck out all the heat was somehow a good idea to the manufacturer, although I guess it survived its entire life like this, so it's not a big deal. But I did feel the heat that was coming out of the back of this power supply, and let me tell you, it was quite warm, warmer than I like them to get. But we'll get this thing hooked up and do a power up test. Alrighty guys, we got the thing hooked up to the old Dell monitor here, and let's do a fire up test and see how well it boots up. I don't have any Windows updates or anything installed right now. I just have the drivers and like the bare essentials that it needs to get up and running, and Skype and TeamViewer that's on there. But let's fire this thing up. Once it boots up, fans quiet down, but you might be able to hear the hard drive spinning away. Not the quickest boot up time in the world, although I did run SpeedFan on these hard drives and check their health, and they're not in the greatest shape. Fitness was like 50 or 40%, and they're quite noisy and crunchy and make some funny sounds, but they haven't failed yet. Alrighty, sorry about that guys, I had to pause the video for a second, but we're still booting up. It was only about a second that I had to pause the video, so good old Windows Vista pegging the CPU on startup. But surprisingly, it's only got 1 gig of RAM. This thing has no color balance whatsoever. It's only got 1 gig of RAM, but it's only using 40% of the RAM, which I guess isn't bad for Windows Vista. Of course, I haven't started doing anything yet, but the only other thing I've realized is if I look at my phone, well, I guess it is correct. The CMOS battery must be close to dead, because if you unplug the thing and then plug it back in, it'll still have the right date, but the time will be off by a few hours, so I have a feeling the CMOS battery is getting low. But yeah, I think we will, or I will, do a little bit of testing with this thing with a bigger video card, something that I don't have to upgrade the power supply on, because it's not a bad power supply, but I'm going to add in a NVIDIA GeForce 6200A AGP graphics card that doesn't require any extra power connectors, and I've run on plenty 250 watt power supplies. It's actually currently over there in the GX150 at the moment, but yeah, it runs alright, not too bad for a free PC. Need to get a case fan for it. Other than that, it's pretty much ready to go. But I will talk to you guys later.